Good evening. For tens of thousands of Americans, crisis hit tonight. Debilitating, life-altering crisis. October 1, furlough day for 30,000 workers at United and American Airlines. We'll meet some of them in a moment. For the air carriers, movie and hotel chains, restaurant and entertainment groups, and mom and pop stores from town to town across. The reality is stark tonight. After 6 months of hanging on and government relief nowhere in sight, too many businesses can hang on no longer, and they've decided their employees have to go. Furloughs at Marriott, Hilton, Uber, and more. That's on top of the 28,000 we heard about from Disney this week. Last week, the Labor Department reports close to 800,000 Americans lost their jobs. The previous week, even more than that. And since COVID, 60 million people have filed for unemployment insurance. 60 million. That is not just a number. Those are our friends and our neighbors trying to pay the bills in the rolling crisis that is COVID-19. They're the victims. Ask the government for help.
All right, Congress, let's seal the deal. Let's pass a COVID relief package.
Allie Malice is one of 33,000 airline workers being furloughed today.
I love my job.
She found her calling in the air and built a life around it. But 6 years after she boarded her first flight for American, the paychecks just stopped. Will you wait for a callback, even if it's years?
I guess I'll wait for a callback. I hope it'll be soon.
Of course, there aren't many jobs out there to find. Not now.
My husband and I met as flight instructors in Phoenix.
Laura and Max Woods are now both pilots for different airlines, and their future is uncertain and unnerving.
On September 4th, my husband and I opened the mailbox, and we had both received our furlough letters from our airlines on the same day. So we...
From separate airlines on the same day?
We did, yes.
Did you look at each other and go, what are we going to do?
Yes, it's overwhelming. The pressure of having a young child at home and having another on the way just adds to that.
Max's job is safe for now. Laura could still be laid off in just a few weeks.
No, that's not okay.
Union leaders fight on.
Save our job.
This is only going to continue to spiral down because when you start to unravel the airline industry and that network, it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker.
Some analysts think otherwise.
It's really important for the airlines to become far more efficient when they can start to lay off employees or put people on furlough. That will help bring the cash burn down substantially.
We could give away all of it, and it wouldn't solve the problem. Imagine that. 750,000 workers working for free would not take care of the problems in the airline industry right now.
The challenge is ongoing, but brand new for Allie Malice, who, like tens of thousands of other airline workers, has a simple message for Congress tonight.
Set the political games aside. Help us.
Well, both sides say they want to. The House is on track to vote tonight on what they're calling a stimulus bill, but think about it. It's disaster relief. Victims who did nothing wrong need help. Disaster relief. A live report on whatever Congress is doing coming up before we hit a commercial break. Word today that half of New York City's bars and restaurants may be wiped out permanently in the next 6 months. That's from New York State's chief financial officer. Think of it, 14,000 bars and restaurants just gone. Some of my favorites already are. Crispo was an Italian gem on 14th Street. Daddio served great burgers till 4 a.m. No more. A new government report on the city's troubles is out today. Most bars and restaurants here are small businesses with fewer than 20 employees, and more than half of the workers are immigrants, making on average about $34,000 a year. CNBC's Frank Holland in Harlem now with a business owner who says he might have to shut down for good. Frank.
Well, Shepard, it's certainly a big concern for business owners like this one that you see behind me. He's very concerned about his ability to stay open and stay in business when many of the people who are his customers may lose their jobs. Culinary creations are what Chef J.J. Johnson prefers to focus on at his restaurant in Harlem. But in recent days, instead of rice recipes, he's been stewing over reports of rising COVID numbers.
Your favorite restaurant might not come back. If there's a second wave for restaurants, that might mean 100% of restaurants close, 80% of restaurants close.
And layoffs that could impact his core customers.
Especially in Harlem, talking about working class America, losing their job, that's who supports us. If they don't have a job, we won't be open. It's just that simple.
Small business owners across the nation under pandemic pressure. According to Yelp, from April to September, permanent business closures, they increased by 165%. Amar Espinoza is a bartender who has seen his income fall sharply because of fewer tips. If his restaurant closes, he'd be out of much more than just a job.
If I don't have a job, I got to go back to Mexico, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't have a job. I'm an immigrant, so I don't really receive any, any support, any help.
Katrina Paris-Penn and her husband own a home and lifestyle store that's been hit hard by the lack of tourism.
Things have been hard, and they're going to get harder. And until we get, COVID under control, we are going to have hard times ahead of us.
And Shep, it has been especially hard for low-wage workers, the people who would make your food in a restaurant like the one that Chef JJ opened here. According to the Pew Research Center, nearly half of them have lost their job or had to take a pay cut during the pandemic.
Frank Holland, uptown in the big city. Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.